Yes, greetings and the best of salutations. There will be peace, prayer, power, patience, and prosperity. The hunger, the thirst, and the drive. The hunger, the thirst, and the drive. We want to try to do our best to try to tap into the reservoir of our mind, our thoughts, our thinking, our attitude, our feelings, our human emotions, and the language and the actions that we use in forms of demonstration. Demonstrate. It is said that one has come to make the crooked places straight and the rough places smooth, and maybe all hosts of heaven and earth will see the glory of the Lord. I may be using that wrong, but remember this topic of discussion is the hunger, the thirst, and the drive. You know what? When it comes to one's thinking, thoughts, attitude, feelings, emotions, language, and actions to demonstrate that. One's drive is one's determination, one's motive, one's intent. When one is has control of a wheel in a car, he is driving and he or she is going to a particular destination. Destiny is the brightest star. Some stars may shine brighter than others, but a star is still a star. I don't know how true it is, but I like that saying. Some intentions mean well, but their actions display something totally different. And there seems to be an indifference, something that he or she possibly have is challenged by or come into conflict with. I liken unto challenge in this wise that we are challenged with feelings of inadequacy and sometimes deep feelings of insecurities. And I believe it was a sister by the name of Dr. Frances Quelch Wilson that talks about deep feelings of insecurities and feelings of inadequacy, and some try to make up for it by being violent. The hunger, the thrive. I mean, the hunger, the thirst, and the drive. And you're driving that vehicle, or you may be a passenger. You know, and you have an intended destination, and sometimes you arrive at that destination that you sought out to get to, and sometimes there may be a detour, and something could intersect and interrupt and impede, and even serve as a hindrance, and you may wind up at another destination, and possibly an unlikely destination. I realize that direction may change, but destiny stays the same. The hunger, the thirst, the drive. The earth itself has a appetite. Yes, it absorbs. Uh, put water in it and will absorb the water. You know, uh, plant a seed in it. And it would take the seed and produce a crop. And it's agrarian in thought. Deal with agriculture. This is a earth is also a farmland that need to be cultivated. If something is uncultivated, unrefined, and untamed, it's wild. That's what you call the wilderness, and wandering without any guidance. The mind, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, the attitude, the language, and the actions, the hunger, the thirst, and the drive. Hmm. The thirst, that which quenches, that which is could be satisfiable and may have such a strong thirst that that thirst becomes unquenchable. For satisfaction, and it is said in connection with that the only disease I believe, and not to slight any other medical diseases, is that cannot be cured is greed. Unsatisfiable greed. The thirst for it, the hunger for it, the drive for it. It is said that all that we are is a result of what we have thought, and is founded on our thoughts and made up of thoughts. And if a person or a man speak or act with good thoughts, happiness follows him or her like a shadow that will never leave him or her. As a tribute to Buddha. All that we are is that which we possess is the result of thought. And if problems are human made, then humans should solve them. Yet Einstein says that the same level of consciousness that created the problem won't solve the problem. We identify the problem as there is a hunger, a thirst, then there is the drive, the need for self importance, to feel important. A place of belonging, and we're here on this plane of existence. We belong here, so, there is no need to say that we need a place of belonging because we belong here. That's why we're here. We're here to do our best and to cultivate the best in development of our intellect, for the betterment of humanity. And I've learned that every thought begins with a seed, that the ground be fertile, be able to produce a crop. The mind at its best is to be productive, so, we want to be productive. Yes. That which occupies the mind conditions the mind. That's the nature of the mind, and that which we are occupying, or that which occupies our mind, we occupy this space. We must share it. We have to share it. It's natural. And how can we prove it? Look, since time began, then think people depart, other species depart, the reproduction system. That means we're here to share. We're here to coexist and live with each other. You know what I'm saying? And make the best of this opportunity that is here on this plane of existence. The planets they share. Humans seems to want to have a monopoly on the distribution process, on the manner and way and how much they're going to share. Trying to control, have control over and regulate the affairs of others. That's very ignoble. You can teach people other languages, but you can't teach them how to govern. That they must learn for themselves. He or she who has the power to define is able to dictate how problems are defined, will determine how they should be solved. Yes. What are we guided by? Some say let your conscience be your guide, and some say they're guided by a written document. Some say this, some say that, some is just the sum total of the whole. You summing it up. You summing it up. There's a saying so that others may eat. But be careful what you consume, what you take in. It could be something that could be very poisonous. Poisonous. So what is this? Where do I stand? I stand right where I am and where I reside. And so do you. But the question is, what do one stand for is a purpose. For is square, stand on the level. And what do I mean by standing on the level? That there will be no little U's, nor big I's. The level playing field, there be egalitarianism. So it says in the religious sense, I realize this, that in reference to add on to what I'm saying, when I stand for Christ as a state of development through the process of spiritual consciousness, Christ is a state of development through the process of spiritual consciousness. Anything in its natural form or natural state is spiritual. So it stands for this, some call this organic, this natural development of this evolutionary process of the light of the glory of the Lord. The Lord, that means our nurturing, our evolutionary process. And I ain't talking, you know, Darwinism, none of that. So what is the state represents a condition? What is the condition of the circumstances when it comes to the consciousness of one's development of one's humanity? He or she must first understand that the human person must be established. We are an individual, which is the sum total of the whole, the hunger, the thirst, the drive. When you look at societies in the past and even in the present, for the most part, if that he or she who controls the projection could project anything that they want to project, when it comes that the image is being projected, it's that people who are treated with a sense of nobodiness, as if they don't really exist, that they want to be treated with dignity and nobility. Because we were born with dignity and nobility. So, in that, you can tell of a person, if you don't teach you right, he ain't gonna treat you right. So, treat people, treat each other right. I'm still talking about the development of one's intellect and the state, talking about the condition of one's circumstances when it comes to the consciousness, the spiritual consciousness of his development when it comes to his humanity and establishing first the human person. And once you establish the human person understand the importance of using his faculties in the best ways. And how do you use your faculties in the best ways? You must first learn how to reason. And reason from the premise of conversation. Reason with progression. The hunger, the thirst, and the drive. Because there's only two struggles for me: progression versus regression, and common sense versus nonsense. So, in the development of first establishing the human person, because we really talk about the human experience. The human experience really is a fragile one. It is fragile, fragile. People are very fragile. Yeah, humans are. Because we have human emotions. Yeah. You look at a glass, and a glass breaks, But some say humans do their best trying not to break when they are under, some type of interrogation. But there is a movie called The Unbreakable. Talk about the human spirit, dude. The human spirit. I know it sounds two different things. You say unbreakable, then you say it's not breaking when it comes to the human spirit. Because I realize in interacting with people in certain hospital settings who may be like in this situation where it's that they ready to make their transition and their spirit is still strong. The human spirit is a strong thing, man. The human spirit is strong. The soul, man, the soul, the human soul, man, the spirit of the human soul is strong, man. It naturally resists that which will belittle it. Yeah, it resists. It is so strong that it comes down from centuries to be housed in the body. I mean, that's good God. Gee whiz. It is so strong that it can speak to the subconscious of your mind. You know what I'm saying? That's how strong it is. And then the subconscious of your mind comes out to be, your conscious. It is so strong it even will speak to you when something is not even going right with your mind, and something not going on right with your body. I mean, the soul that is in the human body, the being, the human soul that's in the soul that is in the human body, in this physical body, man. It is. Do you look at see your eyes, man? The soul, the Native American, it's in your eyes. When you depart, your eyes follow. The eyes is following. That's the soul, man. You think it's just you. You no, it's just housing this body, man. Housing your body. Housing each and human being body. It's called a human being. Hugh the carving out the earth. A being that is made up of electron, protons, and neutrons. Energy. The manner way how we transmit and use our energy and not waste time in foolishness. Oh, the hunger, the thirst, and the drive of the human soul, or the development of one's intellect for the betterment of the human soul, its ultimate aim, and the energy that it sets out is complete civility. In civility, you have accountability. In accountability, you have responsibility. In responsibility, you have duty. And in duty, you have order. From that which we awaken, from that which we derive from, is peace. I'm going to share something with you in this wise from a book called Betrayal. Houston A. Baker Jr. How black intellectuals have abandoned the ideas of the civil rights era. I'm just reading from what this brother had written. Booker T. Washington, in his pronouncements of black ministry of his day, spoke of the wretched, poor educational attainments of black ministers, but certainly that has nothing to do with the impeccable bona fide of Professors West and Dyson. I think, however, that it was not educational lack that most concerned Washington. I believe it was, in fact, the proliferation of such punitive black ministers masquerading as knowledgeable race leaders that perturbed him. The masquerade is over. He used two names there. Some would say they want me to elaborate on that more or, or share more, and I will. It is difficult, as the writer says, to avoid thinking of Washington's critique as he says, as he read race writings of Professor West and Dyson, for hypothesize that it is the flux of ministerial when it comes to these two intellectuals and the cretins and what they claim. They are trying to fill the void created by the assassination of Dr. King and seize an opportunity created by the black public middle class American spirit that is hungry for explanations of race. How can you fill the void? Because that which of assassination of one and that which is being assassinated is one's character. Character is the outgrowth of one's humanity. To publicly disgrace someone is akin to murder. Character. Character. What is the issue? This character resolves. Leadership, influence, government, culture, education, and religions. Leadership. I may have missed one. It's that which has the most influence. Community leadership, government, education, culture, and religious. That which has the greatest influence on our thinking, on our minds, on our attitude, on our behavior, and in our self awareness. The hunger, the thirst, and the drive. He goes on to say, in Cornell's West best selling Race Matters, we learned that black America is in a crisis. You know, the Japanese has a term, or Chinese has a term about crisis, and either make you weaker or make you stronger, you know. And so society says that you overcome, if it don't kill you, to make you stronger, you know, like that. The only thing that's really probably killing and murdering people, not only deal with the character assassination, is the wrong type of education. So the crisis, but the crisis is not so much one of oppression. The only thing that is oppressing people's ignorance is a result of hostility, as if there's nothing else to be learned. That which you think you know and have learned, you realize there's more to be learned. Yes. Okay, one of oppression of deprivation of the mind. or the soul, depending upon whether one wishes to look at race. First of all, we always look at race, and there are people who define race when it comes to black or white. There is no such thing. It is something that is conceptual and not factual. Race, yes. It is something that is conceptual and not factual. Okay. Okay. Mind, soul, depending on whether one wishes to look at race matters psychologically or religiously. His amateur psychology prompts him to talk without any reference to psychological studies or to statistics accounts of a profound sense of psychological depression, personal worthlessness, and social despair so widespread in black America. Black America, he declares, suffer from a collective clinical depression. Race page 27. I believe race 27. His tone is half biblical prophet, half storefront preacher. West in the black religious bully pulpit is really quite something in race matters. He reprises reprises Baldwin's Temple of the Fire baptized from the novel Go Tell It on the Mountaintop. West's conclusion is that the greatest threat to black America in the present time is the suffusion of nihilism, no moral principles, no moral principles. It's a sense of skepticism. Also, a sense of maybe absent mindedness. Skepticism, suspicious. It is says that Satan deceived the whole world 90% of the time when we get allowed to interact with one another. We're skeptic. We're suspicious of each other. You know that brings us to be very maybe more of a pessimist and more so of a um, thinking the worst. Because remember, I said something that is absent in the mind, there is a void, and someone comes to try to fill a void that they or walk in someone else's shoes, and people try to live vicariously through other people. We try to resurrect people like Malcolm, people like Dr. King, or people like Sojourner Truth, Ada B. Wells, uh, Robert Kennedy, um, uh, people, whoever it may be, across the globe, whoever it be. It could be, whoever it may be, someone who people hold in high esteem. It's very Roman thought, thinking they want a hero. They want a hero, very haru, a hero, the hour. They want someone to come through for them. They don't make no difference about his character or the morality, long as he is the one that they can see that will offer them hope. Everybody can look at Stalin. Everybody can look at Lenin. You can look at Hitler. You can go on and on and on. Someone that will offer people hope. But the challenge is it is the false hope. False hope. Fraudulent behavior. Fraud is a crime. You promise something that you're unable to come through on. It puts you at an advantage and put people other in a disadvantage. So therefore, people become so dependent on you. So how can we equate someone with a Dr. King or a Malcolm X, and you have the audacity, people who are looking for somebody to fill the void, looking for somebody that will give them hope, whereas you are the hope, you individually. You put them in a frame of a picture, and you say, well, this person is that connected to that. I mean, this person is in the same category. No, no, no way, no how, man. How can you equate that? I don't care who it is. And then therefore you elevate their status, huh? Because then you put them in a position to be suffering from the illusion of self-aggrandizement. I don't care if you're black or white. That does not matter to me. What's most important, man, is your character. As even West talks about, I'm not disputing it. It's a skepticism, nihilism. You know what I'm saying? Without any moral guides, any principles. As if you don't want, as if you're not gonna, not to be accountable. But who do you blame for that? No, people. Come on, man. You got to wake up, man. How you gonna equate a sister now in office, and you're gonna equate them with Coretta? Come on, man. Because she's a woman. So it put male and females again at odds with each other. There's an old Native American said, "No one can walk in my, walk in my moccasins. Got to walk in my own." I mean, what has become of our thinking, man, and our thoughts that we get so elated and happy with a few tokenism, with a few trappings? Where the masses of people all over the world still struggling from homelessness, poverty, racism, sexism, classism, genderism, fascism, socialism, capitalism, communalism. I don't care, all these isms still putting us at odds with one another. But yet, your immediate hunger, huh? Your immediate thirst, your immediate drive, your immediate situation, where you feel, you know, your human emotion is getting the best of you, man. That's all it is, man. Come on, man. That's silly, man. That's silly. But yet, it is a mentality. It is a system that is in place uh, that determines the dosage and the distribution of of what I'm going to of what is going to share with you to feed your hunger, to satisfy your thirst, and that which you think is pure. Be careful; it may wind up being poison. And then, as a result of that consumption, that poison will spread, and that becomes, your drive. In fact, about it, sometimes it will become so powerful, this poison, that it will move you out of the driver's seat, and it will take the wheel, and you just become a passenger as it runs through your mind, your thoughts, your attitude, in your veins, and it is a disease to uh, to live vicariously through others, and to be in a position where is that to and to and to hunger for false hope, and realize that this false sense of leadership is that they live pretty good, while people who are still confined to abject poverty, and we just become people just become satisfied with that, quenching their immediate thirst in the land of the abundance. I think Dr. King says that man or woman, I'm paraphrasing, he has not begun to live when he moved from the narrow confines of his own individual concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. So, what is the condition when it comes to the development of one's intellect for the betterment of humanity? Because what is the condition of one's intellect, one's faculties, for development of your humanity? What is the condition of your humanity? You would know, because you or I only are responding to the extent and the injury and the damage that has been done to our humanity. So when we vacillate up and down, we come at odds with one another and even ourselves, it will be revealed. You can't hide it. You will act out. You will either defend that which really does not defend you. You will protect that which does not even protect you. To a point that you will kill, murder, maim, and do so in the name of God. Until next time.